Joe Biden, who says we need to deal with racial disparities in America. We need to speak truth about systemic racism. We need to acknowledge that on this virus, blacks and Latinos are 3 times as likely to contract it and twice as likely to die from it. We need to speak truth about disparities in our healthcare system when black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth than other women. We need to speak truth about a criminal justice system and reform that system and decriminalize marijuana and expunge the records of people who have been convicted of marijuana offenses and shut down private prisons and end cash bail, because it is not only a criminal justice issue, it is an economic justice issue. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who took a debate stage in front of 70 million Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists, who then doubled down and said they should stand back and stand by. And let's be clear, this is part of a pattern, because remember, he came in office questioning the legitimacy of the first black president of the United States. Remember, on the issue of Charlottesville, where folks were peacefully protesting racial injustice, one young woman was killed. And on the other side, there were a bunch of neo-Nazis wearing swastikas, carrying tiki torches, spewing racial and anti-Semitic epithets. And the President of the United States said there are fine people on both sides. A president of the United States who came into office calling Mexicans rapists and criminals, put as his first order of business a Muslim ban in effect. We don't want that in the president of our United States. We deserve better. We want a president of the United States who understands you want to measure the strength of anyone. You want to measure their strength? You measure a person's strength not by who they beat down, but who they lift up. And we are in the midst also of a climate crisis. It's hot. And it's getting hotter. A climate crisis. You know, I come from California. The wildfires have been just burning up the West Coast, from California to Oregon to Washington to Colorado. You know, I've met families and met with families who had to evacuate. They lost their home, permanently lost their home. I've met with firefighters who were fighting the wildfires while their own homes were burning. In fact, my brother-in-law's a firefighter. You know, in the Gulf Coast states, you all know that, the storms that have been hitting, do you know we've had 5 named storms just this year? And we name a storm because it's that bad that it should actually be acknowledged with a name. That's how bad things are. And so Joe Biden says, hey, we need to deal with the science. We need to embrace the reality and the urgency and the immediacy of this issue. We need to understand it is not only an existential threat to us as a species, it is something that transcends into civil rights and human rights issues when you know that of all the people in our country who live in poor air quality zones, 70% are people of color. He knows that when we're talking about water as an issue, we think of places like Flint. And Joe says, let's deal with the science, but do it in a way that we also see an economic opportunity for the creation of jobs. Investment in renewable energy, investment in solar and wind. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who, I kid you not, when asked about the wildfires in California, and the question went something like, Mr. President, you know, these wildfires are happening. The scientists are telling us that there are extreme changes in the climate, that there's a connection also with human behaviors. Do you know that the President of the United States responded by saying, science doesn't know? The President of the United States. Well, here's the thing, Mr. President, science does know, and so does the leading science magazine that endorsed Joe Biden for President of the United States. So, there's a lot going on, and we got 3 days to get this done. And so let's talk for a minute about voting. You know, people have been asking me, and I'm sure you, because this is a whole beautiful group of leaders. People have been asking, why should I vote? And I think there are 3 reasons that everyone should vote. 1, honor the ancestors. Honor the ancestors. Honor people like the late, great John Lewis, who shed his blood on that Edmund Pettus Bridge so we could vote. I know he hears you. I know he hears you. Honor the ancestors, those suffragettes who 100 years ago got us the passage of the 19th Amendment. But let's always speak truth. Black women couldn't vote until 1965, so there is that. So, reason number 1, let's honor the ancestors who sacrificed so much for our right to vote. Reason number 2, everything is at stake. Everything. Everything we just discussed, including creating a pathway for citizenship for our undocumented immigrants, renewing our promise to our dreamers with DACA, shutting down private detention centers, reuniting 545 children with their parents who the United States government orphaned. There's every reason to vote in terms of what's at stake. And then here's the last point that I'd make as reason number 3, including that America's future is at stake. We are, I'm traveling all over the country. This is I don't know how many times I've been to Florida since I've been on the ticket, and many times before that. Thank you, Debbie. All over our country, people are putting in place laws and procedures to make it difficult for us to vote, making it confusing to vote, you know, purging voter rolls, passing laws to suppress the vote, picking up drop boxes. I was in Houston yesterday, a county of 11 million people with 1 drop box. Trying to make it confusing in different places in Florida, different days, right? Different envelopes you got to fill out and who's going to sign them. The President of the United States who took the stage at the debate and openly attempted to suppress the vote. So here's the thing. When we look at where we are in terms of these powerful people who are trying to, and we're not going to be distracted by what's at hand. We're not going to be distracted by the stakes. We're not going to be distracted. We know what we have to do. And so, here's my point. Here's my point. You gotta ask, Why are these powerful people trying to make it so difficult for us to vote? And I will tell you, I believe the reason they're trying to make it difficult and confusing for us to vote is because they know our power. They know our power. They know when we vote, things change. They know when we vote, we win. They know our power, and let us not ever let anyone take our power from us. And so my last point, Miami, is this. This moment will pass. And years from now, our children, our grandchildren will ask us, where were you at that moment? And what we will tell them is so much more than just how we felt. We are going to tell them what we did. We are going to tell them we organized, we mobilized, we stood in line, we emailed and texted and called everybody we knew multiple times till they got sick of us, but we knew they'd get over it. And we will tell them we elected Joe Biden the next president of the United States. Thank you, Miami. Gracias.
So many girls, I hear you've been running from the beautiful queen that you can be becoming. You can look in my palm and see the storm coming. Read the book of my life and see I've overcome it. Just because the length of your hair ain't long, and they often criticize you for your skin tone. Wanna hold your head high cause you a pretty woman. Get your runway stride on and keep it going. Girl, live your life. I just wanna be myself. Yeah. Girl, be yourself. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Girl, be yourself. That's why I be myself. And I love it.